Hey, it's Sebastian from the Metal Gods Meltdown, and today I have the pleasure to be joined by.
Ethan Henry from the band FREYA and my solo project, Ashes of the Sun.
It's great to be chatting to you today. Gods with Machines is a killer album. How excited and stoked are you waiting for its release August the 1st?
Yeah, I'm stoked, man. It's my first. I've done a lot of stuff over the years, but it's the first time that I've just decided to really push it. I think I went labelless. Started my own production company, and I'm kind of putting everything under that Ignorant Tourist Productions blanket. So I'm trying to build that, and this is the first real music I'm putting out on that.
Cool. So you've released one single, yeah, so far?
Yep, one single. It was A New Way to Die. I dropped the video for that. And this Wednesday, I think the 16th, I have another single coming out, Here to Stay. And
Right.
then the full length album comes out August 1st.
Excellent. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed Sophisticated Clowns. Can you tell us about the ideas behind this song?
Everything, I mean, I tend to write about. I'm not really like a big, deep lyricist. I've been in the bands I've been in FREYA for a long time, since 2004, and
Yeah.
Karl Buechner is one of my best friends. So he's really deep with his lyrics. I'm a little more simple with it, so it's kind of, whatever jelly gets squished into my donut is kind of what comes back out. So in the moment when I was writing and I was writing lyrics, I kind of, I'm he's a little more like intelligent with his lyrics. I'm a little more seventh grade. I don't know what it is in the UK, which how your high school and junior high works, but I'm kind of like I kind of shoot it a little more straightforward, kind of what's in my head at the time. And Sophisticated Clowns is the whole album's a concept album,
Mm-hmm.
and it's in the beginning of it is about um, it's basically about a planet that gets invaded by aliens, but the aliens realize a lot of the people on the planet are primitive, so they pretend that they're gods because they think that they're gods. So they just kind of capitalize on it. But there are governments that are at work in there, and the governments kind of are aware of what's going on, but they use it to their benefit. And the Sophisticated Clowns is kind of about those guys kind of running the show, but they're totally being manipulated by whatever's
Mm-hmm.
kind of in control of the gods, which in my world is a bunch of aliens, kind of. But I mean, you can take it any way you want to. I'm a fiction writer.
I know. It's just it's sort of like quite telling really with what's going on in my country at the minute. But yeah, I realise that it's like a concept album. So would you like plan to maybe do a short film or something like that?
Actually, the next video that I'm having come out, I think it's going to be dropping soon. I just didn't have the link up ready, and I think maybe we were going to send one to you, and we were going to send one out to a couple of other people, but it should be dropping this Wednesday. If not, within a few days, it comes out with a single. But it is a little short film.
Cool.
I didn't do any. It's just me. So I mean, I play all the instruments. I have a recording studio. I'm in my studio now, and so it's kind of my last video kind of shows me playing guitar and bass and drums. And there's a lot of guys doing that nowadays. I've been doing it for a long time, and so it's a little bit like kind of like how many times I want to show me play every instrument. So I filmed a little short film 5, 6, 7 years ago. I can't remember when. And I was kind of thinking what I wanted to do with this video,
Mhm.
and we filmed it really, really well. And I said, well, I'm going to take that and re-edit it and use it for the song, and use it for the video for the song. So it's literally doesn't have me in it. It's just the actors that I had at the time. I just made a little short film, and I kind of lined it up with the song, but I played it out more like it's a soundtrack to a short film. So, and that's what I do. I make movies as well. So, so it's kind of cool to smash the two together and create something that I think is it's pretty high quality. It's independent, but it's still pretty high quality and a little bit better than the average kind of just me playing every instrument video. So
I look forward to seeing that. So you have recorded everything yourself on this album. How
yep.
did the isolation feel? Was it a challenge or was it a good creative process for you?
I do a lot of stuff when I'm in FREYA. I'm really involved with a lot of the writing. Like in the beginning, I wasn't. I joined back in 2004, and it was kind of like there was five guys, I was number five, and over the years, I kind of slowly moved my way up to where A couple of new guys came in, guys could come and go, and FREYA's always been a band where we all kind of take a step back, do what we got to do, then come back in. You know, like Eric and Bulldog from Earth Crisis and Karl started FREYA originally back in the day with Corey Konez, and you know, and over the years it kind of switched out. So, and then it, you know, they when they're available they come back. So when me and Karl are developing songs, like the last album, Fight is one that I did with FREYA. You know, me and Karl wrote most of that stuff. You know what I mean? We shared it out with Eric and Bulldog and stuff. But we had, you know, there's a lot of prep here at my studio, and so I kind of like working in that environment. What sucks about it is you don't get that like person telling you that's boring, or you know, maybe you should put another riff there or that. So you lose this. You start to lean to one side, and you just you tend to keep going that way. So. I like doing that stuff. I feel comfortable in that setting though. So to do the whole album, it was something. I've been sitting on that album for a couple of years now, actually, and I had it mixed.
Okay.
And I was very self-conscious about it. I wasn't going to release it because I was like, do I scream the album? Do I sing the album? Do I like heavy sing the album? Like, do I try to play really heavy solos, or just go with what I do? So I just kind of said, you know what? It had the songs they kind of, you know, some of them are like kind of heavy, almost Metallica-like or Anthrax, I think, and like Megadeth or something. And some of the songs are almost like hard rock, and some of them are almost like ballad rock at times. So now I was just like, you know what? If I sing it the same, I play the solos similarly, it'll feel like a cohesive album. And I like the dynamic of it as opposed to one song being overly dynamic. I think the whole album is kind of dynamic in that sense. And so it was fun to do. It's scary, and hopefully people dig it. You know what I mean?
Totally, man. I mean, it is like it's dragged me back to the 80s, early 80s when thrash was starting out and everything. So there's definitely influences there with Megadeth, Anthrax, Metallica. It's all in there.
Yeah.
So was that a conscious choice then to sort of make the album sort of what's the word? Sort of like an honoring that time. Was that the idea?
It wasn't where I wanted to go. So I didn't say, I'm going to write an Anthrax album or I'm going to write a Metallica album. I just wrote shit that I thought was cool. And then, and over the years, some of these songs have been sitting around. Some of those songs have been sitting around for 15 years, you know?
Right, okay.
Some of them were songs that I had written. I proposed, hey, FREYA, we should play this. No, it sounds too much like Anthrax. So I kicked it to the back burner, you know? And so what it more was, my influences couldn't help themselves to like present, you know, themselves in my music and my writing. And as I record, I'm like, man, that sounds like a Metallica song. Or wow, man, that kind of sounds like I didn't realize, like when I play guitar solos, I didn't listen to Guns N' Roses. I remember Appetite for Destruction to me is like I'm like, oh, that's a cool album, you know, and I've heard Velvet Revolver and I'm like, oh, it's a decent album, you know, but I don't listen to it. I'm like, listen to metal, I listen to hardcore and all stuff. And so when I started playing solos, I'm like, I kind of play like Slash. Like I didn't realize my solos had this like kind of slashy thing. I always thought I kind of played like Kirk Hammett. I use pentatonic scales and I don't go too crazy beyond that. So I kind of just embraced it all. And said, you know what? I'm just going to play what I play, what feels good. And a couple of the songs are a little more commercialized than some of the stuff I've done in the past. I'm always like, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to try to do this heavy. And FREYA, we kind of try to stay in the pocket and just kind of stay to the point. You know, we don't get too flashy with it. We can do that. You know, I was in super progressive bands. So this was just more like, I'm just going to let it do what it does. I'm just going to throw it out there, and whatever it sounds like, I'm going to embrace that song. And after I was done, I was like, this sounds like a cohesive album. And I sang it the way I felt like I can pull this off. I can do this live. I can, it sounds good. And even though this song is really heavy, you know, the next song is kind of mellow, but I sing it similarly. Yeah. So it kind of feels like a cohesive album. So I just kind of embraced what I wrote. You know what I mean? And this is, I don't want to say they're the B-sides of my stuff, but it's kind of like, I'm just going to put it out, man, see what happens. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So are there plans then to hit the road with this album? And what about tour dates? I'm guessing they'll be mainly where you live.
For now, yeah, it all depends on how it grows because, you know, I'm still a part of FREYA. FREYA's actually in Europe right now. Right. We had Rebecca and Brian from Rig Time. They came and did some shows with us and stuff. And I told Brian, I said, listen, I filmed a movie last year, and it came out last October or September. I can't remember when it came out. And then I'm filming a pilot for a television show this year, and I was going to release this album, and I got my production company I'm trying to ramp it up. And I said, listen, you're going to go to Europe at a time when I can't. I said, would you be willing to go on the road for me, like play drums, so I can just focus on this stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Because ultimately what I'd like to do is maybe just try to have a place for us to release whatever side projects we do. You know what I mean? If we don't have the label, so it's a building process. So they went out on the road. So I want to go on the road. I want to do stuff. And I talked to a couple people that said, "Yeah, I'll be a part of this with you." So I'm just kind of waiting because some of the people I've talked to are great musicians I've been on the road with before and toured with. So it's a matter of seeing how the album does. If there's a need for it, I'll probably play some shows in the New York area, and then if it grows from there, I'll grow as it grows. You know what I mean? I'm totally willing to do it. I've done it before, and I'm putting my feelers out. This album is putting my feelers out.
So so what has the feedback been like then from media? Have you had a lot of feedback, and what about fans of FREYA? What's that been like so far?
You know, I kind of been like haven't been looking. Because the single came out, another single came out, and I'm just like, I don't really pay attention to social media. My lawyer is always like, "Oh, you got to get on there and do this," and all the people in my circle like, "You got to do this, you got to do this, and you're making movies and you're doing this, but you got to get on there." I'm like, "Shit!" And I pay people to like do the ads and all this stuff, and I'm like, I should probably be like more involved and pay attention, but maybe I'm doing it for self-preservation. Maybe I'm doing it
this might be
because I'm just a slacker. I'm a social media slacker. So getting on my Instagram is a to do as it is. I got to post something after this. I'm like, "Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going?"
No,
and so I do all that weird shit, and I'm just kind of like, "What am I doing right now? This is so like bizarre." But it's like I'm not ready to play that game fully. I just do it because I should. But I don't know, but the people I have talked to, the people that I respect, and the people that have worked on it with me, like mixing and stuff, have really just been like, "Oh my God, this is a badass album," and some really cool, some really respectable musicians that I've been on the road with or I've been come in contact with have, offered to be a part of it if I do a show or this and that. So I'm kind of leaving that all kind of low for now because I want to. Once the album comes out in its entirety.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see where the hot spots are, if it's growing, and if it's like if there's a town or a place that wants us to come, I'm gonna make sure I build this band. Say, okay, we're going out for a couple weeks and we're gonna hit here, and then if it grows from there, then I haven't been to Europe, and I went back in 2007 in FREYA, and that was on the Hell on Earth tour, and we were on the road with Born from Pain. Scott Vogel was singing for them on that tour. Walls of Jericho, All Shall Perish. I met all those dudes, and it's been a long time since I've been there. So I mean, I'm not against doing it. I just I gotta see how it all pans out and where the fan base is.
Absolutely. So what about release day? Will you be doing anything special?
I don't know. I got to talk to the girl that works with my social media stuff, and the girl that's in that. She's constantly telling me, "You gotta do this, gotta do that." She's out right now. She's in Florida doing some bachelor rap party thing. So I've been trying to talk to her, and she's like, "I'm hungover." So when she gets back this week, I think we're going to talk about some of the things that we can do and we'll be doing. And like I said, I've never released it. I've always been with a group. I've never done a solo project like this before and tried to push it. So it's weird to not have those inputs. It's weird. It's just all on me or me and a couple of people that are working with me. So it's kind of new. So we're this is all just testing the water, see how it goes. And I mean, people seem to like the album so far. So I'm pretty stoked about that because it's showing my age, my influences. So.
Yeah, it must be quite daunting and quite scary in a way, yeah?
Well, when you got a band backing you up and you all agree this is cool, sometimes I'll be like, "Hey, man, check out this painting I made. Is this cool?" And people are like, I'm like, "It's not cool." I'm like, "Shit." But if we're all painting it, someone say, "Dude, don't use blue, use black." I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, maybe use black." You don't have that the extra like little set of eyes on there, you know, quality control, whatever you want to call it. And so yeah, it's intimidating. It's a little weird, but it's true to what I'm influenced by and inspired by. And you know, I'm 49 and I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and to me, this album it kind of sounds like it was inspired by that stuff, and that's what I wanted. I just wanted to do something that I felt like is at my core. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's the best time to be alive back then, mate. Honestly, the 80s and 90s, definitely. Apart from grunge.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I agree.
Well, grunge was all right, actually. It wasn't that bad. Some of it was all right.
Yeah.
It gave the industry a kick up the arse, which it needed, I guess. Okay. What was I going to ask you next? Yeah. So about the album artwork, then you sort of said about painting. So have you painted this album artwork? Is it AI?
No. So the album is what the cover? Oh, I built that all. So I drew that. So I was designing everything. I was drawing some stuff. I found some pictures. Like an original cover that I had was a picture, and it was like me sitting there, and I was holding a couple guitars and stuff, and it looked all cool, like an old like stone tablet or something. And I used an AI program to age it and stuff. And I have triplets. They're 14, and they're all artists. And two of my boys like, "Did you use AI for that?" I said, "Well, I just ran it through this processor." And like, "Come on, you can't use that. We're strictly against AI." I'm like, "Well, so am I." They go, "Yeah, but you used the program. You should draw it yourself, Dad." I'm like, "Shit, I should draw it myself." Yeah. So I went back, and then I changed the concept. I used the concept that was in my head instead of the picture I had, and I ended up drawing the whole thing using like Procreate, and like I didn't use any filters on it, and the only thing I did was change some. I used the color. Like just to kind of darken the darks here or there, and so the singles are the same as the album cover, just a different shade. So I just tweaked it a little bit that way. So, but it was all hand drawn. It was all by me. And aside from using programs to put the text in, it's all my promotion stuff. I'm using some of those older AI things and things that I tweaked with AI programs. But the album cover and I try to do everything myself, so that way I don't have to get stuck in this. Is it real? Is it fake? And you know, even doing the album, I've thought that, because like there's a lot of people, man, using AI for a lot of crazy stuff, and I'm hearing songs, and sometimes at first glance, I really can't tell if it's AI or something. I'm like, wow, is that someone playing that, or is that like, did someone just, you know, is that even really a person? So it's like, it was really important for me when I recorded the album, when I do the artwork, when I do anything, even the film stuff that I do. We try to use practical effects. We try, you know, and if I do hire someone to do digital effects on anything I do, like say film wise, I make sure that they're drawing, say, blood splatter frame by frame. So every, you know, how many frames per second, they have to hand draw that in there. And so doing it all for real is my bag. You know what I mean? That's what I want to do. And so I try to do that with this and this album, and I play everything. I didn't tweak anything. If I didn't hit like a kick drum thing right, you know what I mean? I just redid it until I got it. You know what I mean? If I couldn't play the guitar solo, I just played it till I got it. You know what I mean? So it was important to make it not so perfect that it sounded fake. I wanted it to sound like real, you know?
Mm-hmm. It does. The whole album's fantastic. So without giving it away, it is a concept album. But will the story continue, do you think? Do you think there'll be I know this album's not been released, but do you think there'll be a follow-up?
Well, I wanted to write a novel. I'm not a huge book reader. I write scripts all the time and stuff. And I'm actually going to make, I think, a novel based off this, or a graphic novel. Okay. And I might actually hire someone to do the artwork for it, because I just want to get more in depth of it, because the story is really cool. The songs don't really relay it. It's more like the songs are more like kind of like what one person would experience, or telling a vaguer story of someone, how they're feeling during the time of what's happening. But in my mind, what's happening during those moments in the story, like if I went through every song, it's some pretty intense stuff. You know what I mean? About you know, this these people on this planet who eventually worship these people. They try to help them out, and then their greatest warrior discovers that these gods aren't gods. That they have technology. They don't know what technology is. They just know it's more advanced than they have, and they leave him for dead. And he ends up making it back to his tribe, and they revolt against their little small government, and then they decide they're going to go to the gods and they're going to revolt against them because they're not afraid of them anymore. You know what I mean? And then when they do it, they end up discovering that the people that they first attack aren't even the gods. They're the same race, but they're lied to by their leaders, and who are, you know, pretending they're gods. These other people, they were, you know, so it's this whole big story that just doesn't come out in this album. In my mind, it's there. So I might write some form of a graphic novel for it, and kind of, or just a novel, and just kind of.
Sounds like an amazing film, man, or a film series or something. It sounds good, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everything I do is like I falls into the sci-fi realm, you know.
All right. So, what's your favorite sci-fi film? I mean, are you a Star Trek fan? Star Wars? Which do you like?
I might be a Star Trek fan for all the wrong reasons, because I'll sit there at night and I watch the original series and I just crack up at it, and I just love Captain Kirk being this like pervert trying to hook up with every single alien chick he can, and I just think, how, like, this is so like crazy. This guy's a maniac, you know what I mean? And I think it's funny, and I watch it, and I respect it. I think it's cool because it's the beginning of all it is. I'm a total Star Wars guy, and even though, you know, Luke Skywalker, it's funny because I always say, oh, one of my favorite heroes is like one of the biggest like crybabies I've ever seen in hero history. You know, oh, but I gotta fix the power converters. He's always whining and shit, but he's a badass. He's Luke Skywalker, right? So, but I love the art of all that stuff, and I love the way it is, and it sparked my brain to be into that. And I've been into the idea of aliens my whole life. I've been into, you know, my father was, and so. You know, it's hard to say one thing, but you know, I love Star Wars. I love The Fourth Kind. I love the Chronicles of Riddick. You know, anything that kind of falls into that realm. You know, I like the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff. You know what I mean? I pretty much like it all. I can't really say there's like a favorite. I'm so into all that stuff, and you know, that I can't say, oh, this is my favorite. I loved Indiana Jones, the Crystal Skull. And a lot of people said, oh, I hated it. I'm like, man, I love the alien angle. I love Indiana Jones was like doing all sorts of crazy shit like that. And I love the alien at the end. And then the little German girl said, I want to know everything. And they feed her brain, squirt that jelly into there until she's like, I don't want it, take it back. You know what I mean? And I thought that was amazing. And, you know, it doesn't fit into the World War II and all the relics and all that type of stuff. But I loved it. So if you start going down sci-fi avenues, I'm going to probably be interested.
So cool. Okay. So what formats is the album going to be released on? Is it going to be vinyl, a CD?
Yeah, I'm going to do vinyl. I don't have a vinyl set up yet because, again, this is my first release. And usually when I'm on a label, we used to do Victory back in the day. We were on Victory for a while, Victory Records. And they would handle everything, and then we've done some smaller labels over the years and stuff, and it's kind of like it's handled a little differently. It's more like talking to you. It's just like some good people that we know, and they do stuff and they make it all happen in smaller runs. And so I'm kind of a couple steps behind that. So just because I don't really know where it's going to go, I'm kind of like I'm going to wait and see. Kind of like I released my movie last year. I don't have it on Blu-ray yet, but there's slowly starting to become a demand. You know what I mean? Like people are curious about it. It's on Amazon. It's on iTunes. All these places, and so as it becomes, you know, as it's available and people are interested now collectors are starting to be interested in that. Well, I want a physical copy. So I'm going to start to do that. And until the company has more capital to really like just make these crazy investments, I just want to make sure, because let's face it, digital is the easiest way for us all to listen and watch everything now. And as much as I hate it, it's definitely where it's going. I miss the old day of like record stores. I miss the old day of a cassette. I miss the old days of getting a VHS tape and like, dude, you know, accidentally recording over, like, oh shit, you know what I mean? I want to do that stuff. I'm just kind of like trying to be smart about how I do it. I want to wait for there to be a little bit more demand and see where this goes, because I truly don't know what's going to happen. You know, I'm okay. My dream is that I wrote a really awesome hard rock album, and maybe somebody's going to see it like, dude, this is a really good hard rock album. Maybe I'll enter it in some Maybe I'll get to be in the Rolling Stone top blah 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 metal album someday. I don't know, but like, I don't know where it sits, and there's so much music out there nowadays. So I just wanted to get out. My mission right now is to get it out there, talking to guys like you and gals like you, and just being like able to show the world that I'm here, and I got a pretty cool album that I'm pretty proud of, that I think is a good listen.
Yeah, I mean that is the thing. There is so much music out there these days, isn't it? It's hard to keep up. It really is.
It's hard.
It's insane. Okay, so going back to movies then, which track from the album would make the best movie scene, and who would you have playing the villain?
I mean, one of my favorite tracks on the album is I love I'm trying to think. I'm torn because God's Machines. I really like that song. That's about the song Gods and Machines. It's very ballady. It's typically not something I would listen to. Like I don't really. I've seen like Five Finger Death Punch, and I don't listen to Avenged Sevenfold, but a couple of the songs on my album, people said, "Oh my god, that reminds me of Five Finger. That reminds me of Avenged Sevenfold." I'm like, so funny because I don't really listen to them. I respect them, and I think they have heavy parts and they're cool, but I just don't jam it. So it's kind of funny that I have a song on there that people think, "Oh my god, this sounds like this," but ironically, that song is probably, I just like the concept of it. It's called Gods with Machines. It's when it's the people. If there are gods out there, why aren't they helping us? Why are they letting us just suffer? Like why do they keep torturing us? And that whole song is about that. I just love that concept to me, just in general, is like you keep looking up, you keep praying, yet we keep getting destroyed, we keep getting put back down. Whoever it is has their thumb on us, and either it's like what is that? Wrath of the Gods, or what is it? The series there, that movie. Well, all Greek mythology. You know what I'm talking about with Zeus. What is it? The Wrath of the Gods, or they have the flying golden owl.
Yes. What's that called?
What is it? I can't.
I know. Yeah, it's like really dated now, isn't
but anyway,
it? I know what you mean. So,
So like, are the gods just toying with everybody and watching us suffer, and they love it? It's kind of like a psycho torturing an animal, and it's like, oh, cutting them up to pieces. So it's like one of those things, or there's just nothing listening. So the battle of that idea, I think, would make a great scene. I mean, I see it in my head, and I could see it being really deep and dramatic, you know what I mean, but still being intense, and eventually you come to the terms that you gotta like, and these people who are lying, saying they're gods, well, if they're really gods, why are they doing this to us? How can they watch us hurt? How can they watch us and struggle? If they love us, why do we pray to them? They don't give a shit about us. And so I think that'd be a story-wise, that'd be a really great song.
Amazing.
But the last song on the album, that one is that song, I don't know. I think Gods with Machines. I'm gonna stick with Gods with Machines. That'd be a good scene.
So who would play the lead role then? Yourself?
Who would play the lead role? I don't know. I guess I never really thought about it. No, I don't want to act. I hate acting. I just get some young, good-looking guy and gal in there to play the part, so you enjoy watching them on TV. You know what I mean? Like I don't really want to be on film if I don't have to be.
Okay.
I don't even really know.
All right, man. Well, I want to thank you so much for your time. Can you tell us why we should check out your album, though?
I think people should check out the album for a few reasons. If you love the 80s and 90s metal, if you love that old thrash metal, you love that old like hard rock. I really think this album fits those needs, but it's modern. It does have it has some of the modern sounds, so it's a little bit crispy. You're a little bit heavier than some of those old recordings, and I think the songs are catchy. I think if you listen to the album from beginning to end, I think it's overall a good album, and I'm proud of it. And I think that people will find in there some things they can relate to, and I think that the album to me was, I tried to write something that was for metal fans, that was for grunge fans, that was for hard rock fans, and it might be a little lighter for the real metal fans, it might be a little too heavy for the rock fans or the hard rock fans, but I think it still fits the parameters, and I think you could jam that thing, crank it. It's going to be a good sound. I think it's got some great riffs, and I think it's hard hitting and heavy and crisp, and I think it hits I think it's a good listen. I think people will really like it if they give it a chance.
Brilliant. Right. Thank you so much for your time. Do you have any final words for your fans? Do you have any final words for your fans, our viewers, and listeners?
Yeah, well, hopefully future fans, whatever, right? I would just say keep supporting indie music, man. There's a lot of guys out there like me. A lot of guys that are doing it and trying to do it for real, like, and trying to keep things like raw. This album is a raw album. Like it's mixed well and produced well, but everything is just someone playing it. You know what I mean? Like nothing is overly processed in the sense of, if I couldn't play it, I didn't play it. And I think there's a lot of artists out there doing stuff like that. And just keep supporting those bands. Your cousin, your buddy down the road, the coworker has a band, go watch them play. Support them, give them views, give them a little heart, give them love. You know what I mean? Because that stuff helps it grow and keeps it alive. In this threat of a digital world, media, movies, digital, all this AI stuff it's pulling away a human element, and the younger that the kids are watching this stuff, the more it's normal for them, and it's not even going to seem weird to them. Like, we're old guys, right, who just love watching a band play. But at what point do these people not realize it? You already see it with kids and devices and stuff where they're on their phone, and that's their social interaction. I'm talking to you right now, and I can do this, but man, it'd be cool if we were in the same town. We'd be hanging out, eating pizza. I would eat pizza. Exactly. Maybe you would. I don't know. But we'd be hanging out, shooting the shit. Yeah, maybe drinking, a soda, maybe a beer. I don't know. I don't drink beer. But the point is, we would be interacting, and that's what I would prefer. But I'll do this because it works. And I think a lot of kids are losing that. So support local music, indie art, support indie movies. You know what I mean? Watch that shit, love that shit, share it with your friends, show the rest of the world that there's people making stuff out there that's worthy of watching. And even if it's a little bit corny, enjoy it for what it is, because people are making it with their hands, and that's what's cool.